like May 27th-ish or something like that. So who knows what's going to happen? The answer to the calendar question is I don't know. No one else does either. If you talk to KDE, they'll tell you off the record, but not on the record anything, because it's still fluid. One of the things that my calendar auditor asked that I asked the board to do was to go ahead and give us the permission to extend our school day. Right now, that wouldn't make sense for us to extend the school day because we have to go 170 school days. But everyone thinks the commissioner is going to relax that requirement of 170 days. And if he does that, then adding time will help us. I guess my reason for asking for you to give us that permission is so we don't have to wait for another board meeting. We can go ahead and do it maybe kind of quick, and because we have 85 days left. If we add 30 minutes to that, it takes 12 days to make up a day. If we add 20 minutes to that, it takes 18 days to make up a day. 20 minutes is what we normally do. 30 minutes is a lot on what we already do. So you guys in your meeting, think about that. We won't add the time until we can count it, but I think we better do that. Because even with the 10 days, we still have 2 weeks of February, 2 weeks of March. That may not be good. We could miss another 6 or 8 days to push back up in June. And crossing the June threshold is not the end of the world, but it's not good. And vacations and attendance is terrible. It's just not the best. It's not good.
It turns out there's a statute involving trusts such as this, which provides that if members of the trust, or the trustees, are not able to serve, apparently 2 of these trustees died, and in terms of the will, they were to appoint their own successors, which unfortunately they never did. So the surviving trustees, and it's worded when there are 2 or more, so obviously it would take the situation as 3. What it boils down to is that the superintendent of Martin County Schools is the only individual who is named by position. So we don't need to file a suit or do anything else. Mr. Meadows can award the scholarship. My recommendation to him was, though, that a committee or someone be appointed to basically set out the parameters and the qualifications for the scholarship, and maybe have others make recommendations as to who that recipient would be. It would be inappropriate, for instance, for Mr. Meadows to award a scholarship to a relative of his, as that would be a breach of his fiduciary duty to the trust. But in any event, the scholarship can now move forward in any manner that's desired. But it's within the superintendent's power now to do that, and it won't require any board action.
My recommendation to that is that there needs to be some procedure for that scholarship that's adopted by the superintendent and that's adopted by the board. Remember, policies belong to the board. Procedures are for the superintendent to employ or implement those policies of the board. So what I suggest as part of the discussion here is that what I will do is recommend and offer to the board procedures that involve this scholarship. And they're not going to be any more complicated or much different than the scholarships that are available now. In fact, we went ahead and I shared that with the board on an email that we went ahead and advertised, solicited applications for that Tuff Hill scholarship pending funds available. Well, they are going to be available. I'm going to add under new business tonight, coming back in, Tammy has given me a balance of the Tuff Hill scholarship and available funds. There's a $10,000 CD that is becoming mature in March next month that I recommend that we do not roll over to another CD, but make that available as cash and available for scholarships. I don't know exactly, in my mind, I think it's a rainy day. If we have kids who are in need of those scholarships and demonstrate that need, then we need to disperse that money. That's what it's for. That's what the original issue was for. So there's a $10,000 CD that we need to take care of. The dividends from the stocks that contribute to this Tuff Hill scholarship. AGL Services, Canton, Tammy gave me this information, Canton, Massachusetts. Excel Energy Incorporation out of Newark, New Jersey. And so there's about, $1,950 in dividends this year so far. Is that right? So it's cumulative quarterly dividends. I don't know how many stocks there are. don't know exactly what those companies have, but it's a pretty good investment or good return on whatever it is. So my recommendation tonight is on one thing, and that is that CD, that it not be rolled over, that we go ahead and convert that to cash available. Does that need to be, or can we just roll it over? Would it be approved? Is it something that we
I think that the trust, I think that's something that you can do, because you can always, go to the
Well, I'm
board
informing the
and
board
ask
that
to buy
I'm not going to roll it over into a CD, so
Yeah.
it's going to be made available for our kids in scholarships. I'll come back to you and offer a procedure that will not completely deplete it, but I believe we need to disperse those funds to our children each year.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, I'll keep you informed on that one. The student trip tomorrow is still on, whether they're school or not. The main roads are good. Dr. Fletcher and Ms. Williams and others have made calls to students and families tonight and arranged that we can still, if the roads remain good, we will go to Frankfurt and meet with our state representatives and take a tour of the Capitol building and hopefully put a face on the needs of Martin County, especially for our kids to be down there. So there is a request for a piano at the old Sheldon Clark High School facility. There are 3 over there actually, and really it's a surplus, or it will be a surplus. The board has not approved that yet, but I recommend that the piano request, and it is by Ms. Tammy Gerald, has requested on behalf of Beauty Nazarene Church for one of the 3 pianos at the high school. Our district there's no need for those. We've talked to our principals. Most of them are organs. I think there may be a piano. Is there a piano at the high school, sir? Is there 2 at the high school? At your building?
Oh, can you talk about
One
older?
in your building.
Older.
There was not a need for another one. He
Yeah.
has an organ or something. So under new business, I would recommend that that would be approved, but for a permanent loan. The Kisbet Council, last thing that we really need to talk about, there is a request if districts want to participate in a kind of a group representation for concerns about Kisbet. What is ours, 40,000 a year, is that what you said? It's about what we're going to be having to pay for 20 years. So it's a small investment. I think that I would recommend to the board that we need to get on that and be a part of that. It's like $230 or something. I sent to the board, in the interest of time, it's 5 after 6, I sent to the board about that grant, $40,000, actually it's a $45,000 grant. It's for performance monitoring of our district. Cost effectiveness, it's centered first on our transportation system, because that's one of the areas that we need to look at and become more efficient in our district. So that's the team that's coming for that $45,000. We're very fortunate. I had sent an email out to you before Christmas. I don't know, I sent a lot of information out, but that I applied for and that we had received. We got notified that we did receive it, and there is a notification that went to the papers today. And
Yeah.
hopefully it'll be in the paper.
We got it in this week.
Spelling bee on February 18th, change that on your work session. Down at the very bottom, it's number 13, because of the school that we have, that we've been out. We have not had. It's been pushed to the 18th. And then tomorrow I'll be in Frankfurt.
Just to all this time, we haven't had district email. I do now, and I'm getting all kinds of mail from you guys. So don't think we were ignoring you all this time. We didn't know. So I'm getting all that. That's me. Good.
Sunday night.
Welcome everyone to the meeting this evening. Good to have this nice crowd. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. First item on the agenda is a moment of silence.
Audience, we received word tonight. You see one of our board members, but Kathleen Price is not here tonight. She received word today that her grandson, who is serving in Afghanistan, has died in conflict. So as we go into a moment of silence for what we do every day Let's also think of our service members around the world that are standing in harm's way today, our men and women in uniform are serving this country. A grateful nation we are, but certainly keep Kathleen and her family in your thoughts and prayers.
Mr. Mendoza, this is her daughter. This is one of her daughters.
God bless you. Thanks for being here.
We have a moment. Next item on the agenda is Pledge of Allegiance. Everybody can stand.
Do we have a student here?
So we have all kinds.
I don't see Sergeant D'Amato, so I need a student to come up here. Just a student, any student. Do I have to grab one right here on the front row? Come on up here, son. What's your name? What's your name? Clay? All right. Would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you. Put your hand over your heart. All right. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on the agenda is student spotlight, Sarah Witt, Conservation Women, Martin County Middle School academics.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You all right?
You look familiar.
Well, first here, we're so very proud of you. And tell us the selection, what brought you here today, and what you did, and how you were selected, and where you're going from here. Why are you here tonight, Tara? Good for you. So, what piece did you put in for competition?
I'm going to play for now to conserve water and help keep improving water.
Okay, tell us a little bit about it.
One thing about like when you do use that earlier, most people like to pour it on the ground after they use it. You can send it back to the actual company, and usually take this stuff on a buyback system. You can actually sell it back to them and they'll reuse it, recycle instead of putting it in water and pour it on the ground. And then, like cleaning supplies, instead of dumping down the drain lane, like the streets and stuff, and then further water lines, you can take it back to the store as well as another, and they'll buy it back and recycle it or something other.
Very good, very good. So this piece was selected out of
17 counties.
17 counties. Very good. We're very proud of you.
17,000 entries across the state. That's all the states. In Area 8, which is the 17 counties, she won.
She's one of 9 top winners across the state. Region 9. Yeah, 9 regions, so she won Region 8.
17,000.
Pretty good.
Impressive. Very impressive. Do you play the lottery? Kitty, we appreciate you so very much, and we want to recognize you for the value that you bring to a Martin County education. It is your education, and it's the education of Martin County. So everything that you do reflects upon not only yourself, your family, and your school, but also the community. And we're very proud of you, and we're just proud to be a part of that. So thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Give her the hands. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Board. We have with us here tonight the middle school academic team. They would like to come on up. Audience, as they are gathering up here, Mr. Turner is getting them all in line. We're very proud of our academics in Martin County. And if you were here during the work session, you would see the interest and the emphasis upon placing even more resources in the area of our academics for our student achievement and for our student involvement and to represent our county well when we leave beyond the borders here. And this team, we're so very, very proud of them. And Mr. Turner, could you share with us for the group the outstanding achievement of your academic team here?
Well, first of all, for our first year, this is a great start. We have Wesley Goebel is going to be taking the test for social studies and science at the state level. Abby Fletcher is going to be taking math, and Callie Mullins is going to be taking language arts. The whole team advanced to state for the first time in many years to state level. We will be playing very first thing on a Sunday morning in March, so it's very exciting.
Thank you, sir. We want to recognize each one of these students today. And your coach is with you today, Mr. Turner?
Yes, I'm sorry. Mary Ann Farley is on the end down here. Brian Farley, and this is Dustin Wentz, and I'm, of course, Mr.
We want to recognize each one of these students here this evening. Martin County School Student Spotlight, this certificate is awarded to Wesley Goebel for exemplifying the value of a Martin County education. Trevor Blackburn. Mary Spence. Megan Stacy. Lindsay Milson. Roger Harless. Jonathan Allen. Kaylee Mollick. Jacob McKenzie. Cameron McCormick. Katie Murphy. Callie Mullins. That's Russell. Yeah. So you take it off your mom. Where's Russell? Kellen Adams. Abby Fletcher.
She takes after her mom.
Yeah, I was going to say. Did your dad bring you tonight? Hannah Ward. Justin McKenzie. Katie Atkins. Dalton Jude. And Clay Parsley. All right, one more big hand for these guys.
Good luck at state.
Yes. And while they are departing, I will also want to recognize, I think we can consider this individual as part of Team Martin County. But he's going to be recognized later this month as Citizen of the Year. Is that right, Mr. Schmidt? He's going to be recognized as Citizen of the Year. You and I forgot the other gentleman's name. That's not important, is it? But it is part of the Boy Scouts community involvement, civic involvement, so very important. And certainly we want to recognize Mr. Schmidt tonight for being part of this team, and certainly reflects well upon him, the board and the community and the school district of Martin County. But Mike, we're proud of you here. And, now wear that cardinal.
Next item on the agenda is consent agenda. Discussion of possible action on board minutes from January 14th, 2014, January 23rd. Discussion of possible action on treasurer's orders in the amount of $220,316.39, the amount of $472,071.63. Discussion and possible action on conferences, use of vehicle, and use of district facilities. All these items are on the website. Is there any discussion on any of these items? If not, I need a motion to approve. Motion, need a second. Motion second. On favor, indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is discussion and possible action on superintendent matters. We were briefed on that in the work session. Is there any further discussion on that? No, I need a motion to approve. Motion, need a second. I'll second. Motion second. All in favor, indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, discussion and possible action on BG4 on this middle school project BG number 14-037.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And also, you'll see there's a separate item there right underneath for 14030, BG5. We have, Tammy, we've addressed these things so many times. I don't even know where we are anymore on these things. But it seems that each time that they go back to, is it SFCC or FSPK? The
facilities, it's, yeah, KDE.
Right, each time it goes back to KDE. I think most of this is attributed to the time that we, under the emergency condition of pushing these requests through. KDE understood the pressure that we were under, the challenge that we were facing, and they just gave us the green light through the architect service that we had, Mike Sparkman, to go forward and create some learning environments for our students to get them in this building. But looking back, we're having to clean up some T's and I's that we need to take care of. So hopefully this will bring it to a closure.
Hopefully, my department's handling it.
Yes.
Okay. Is there any further discussion on meeting 4 or 5? If not, I need a motion to approve both. I'll make a motion. Have a motion, need a second. Motion second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item, discussion and possible action on Family Resource Center district assurances.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. These were in your packets, and I believe we did one last month. We did one assurance last month, and these are the remaining assurances that we did. And these are not the contracts. For example, for FYI, the Martin County Middle School, because of the merging of the two middle schools, they're going through the process of their allocation of their budgets again because of the directors that they have. Yes, that's here. Their assurances, it's not part of the contract, but the assurance is that we will honor the contracts that come out that are signed of those family resource centers. And I believe the board wants to do that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That is my recommendation.
Yeah. Okay, I'll make a motion.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Motion second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Next item is discussion and possible action on property realty contracts.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As I spoke to in the work session, Mike, does this require a closed session when we talk about the price of it?
If you're going to talk about the price, then it all depends on what you're going to do. If you're going to mention the price for your appraisal, I wouldn't mention the appraisal. All that would do is tend to affect the price.
So with the appraisal that was given to the board, do you have that contract?
I think there's 3 ways that you can sell property. And one is a public auction, the other is sealed bids, or one apparently that the department is now, I guess, more willing to use is the sale of property by private negotiation. But I was going to ask you if you had your letter, because apparently I didn't, it's not put in my packet from KDE, but I think if you use a realtor on a private sale, that you probably have to sell it at the appraised value. You could probably sell it for less in the department. I'd go to the Department of Education and ask them for it. But I wouldn't, if whatever you're going to do, I wouldn't tell them the price. I wouldn't tell anybody the appraised value unless they need to use it to negotiate. I guess what I'm saying is that you may have the appraised value may be already inserted in this contract, and that would be the only thing. You might want to approve the contract and have that amount of money out of there, and then you could ask, somebody might, no matter what it is, if you want to sell a car or something and you get a price, somebody always thinks you counted the price, and so they want to negotiate down off of it. And if you have your appraised value in the contract, it's open to public view, and that might hurt you in negotiating perfect real. So if you do this, I just would take I would take the amount of the appraisal out and sign it in blank, and then give them a private letter or something on it, or give them a copy of KDE's letter, and then I'll take care of it.
And that would be, I would go back to the realtor and say, this is the, of course, the appraisal would, at this point, is the lowest that the board.
Yeah, but we can't take anything lower than that.
If it's advertised for $1 million, that's fine, but no lower than what the appraisal is. So, board, I apologize. I probably should have taken that amount out of there, but please don't offer that for public view.
So are we proposing to do it?
To accept the contract? Yes.
Instead of a bid process?
That's correct. The next step that we need to do is to contract with the realtor to advertise the property.
And this is a standard contract language, so if you approve this realtor, Red, Brown, and Williams, you can do that and then authorize the board chair to execute contracts on behalf of the board. I mean, you already seen them, right? You know what they are. You just won't have that value.
Can Donetta wasn't in here. Are we here to workshop, we mentioned the value?
It's actually printed in that contract. So please, let me emphasize again, I apologize for it being in there. Just make sure that's not for public consumption.
Yeah.
That amount.
Well, I saw them amount on how they took it and that's what was.
Yeah, I'm just wondering about it. Yeah.
Is this here? Yes.
Let's see, okay. Yeah,
There's an appraisal for another piece of property, I think, group of things, and that's what you signed. That's how much money they charge you.
Oh.
I guess we're saying.
Why does it say appraisal then?
Well, they have
You can get it for
Oh,
that,
for the
that'd be a
appraisal,
song.
okay. Yeah. Wow. How about that?
So you want approval of
Yes, as the contract is now. We'd like for you to go ahead and sign that.
Any further discussion on approval of the realty contract?
So what are we doing now?
We would be entering into a real estate contract to sell.
Okay.
So for that one piece. For that one piece. One location.
Instead of over office.
No, that's actually a pretty good price.
I'm gonna say the buyer what happened.
I'm sorry.
Once
Once there's a buyer?
Yeah.
That's, well, depending upon what the price of the offer is, we'd come back to the board.
Yeah, I mean, assuming someone would buy it for the price that the realtor or the appraiser has put on it, they come back here, you'd approve the sale, and then a deed would be prepared, and at the board meeting, and you'd approve the sale, and also prepare to execute a deed, and you could all do it all at the board meeting. Assuming something else happens and it's less, then you have to, deal with it.
That's what I was wondering.
Any further discussion on that? If not, I need a motion to approve.
I'll make it.
Need a second? Motion is second, all in favor, indicate by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is discussion and possible action on the school calendar 2013-14. Anything further on that? Any further discussion on that matter from the board?
I will offer a little piece of discussion. We have had discussions in the office about recommendations before we got the email today from KDE about Saturdays and extending the days. So if it did come to that, we could possibly put in Saturdays.
Somehow that is already linked to the students. And they're
Well,
not liking it.
I get, if I walk outside this building, dollar store across the street, I get asked that.
Well, the thing about it is, that, you know, what I hear about Saturday, there are a lot, you know, there'll be some parents, and I would probably be one of them back when my kid was in school, that if I had something planned for the weekend, you know, because back then I worked in the mines, and I said, you have a lot of parents that are like that their family activities are on Saturday and Sunday. And I'd rather extend the school year. Just, you know, if we got to go up to the middle of June and so be it. I mean, that's you know, I'm thinking about it from a family type,
Well, it's just gonna be
you know,
rough.
perspective. It's gonna be tough.
Extend the day.
We could extend the day.
And
If
that's not
that
what-
became necessary, but remember what Craig, he had the lead. But extending the day doesn't, it'll make up for a school day, but it doesn't count as a day.
Yeah, doesn't count.
And also, when we do that, either we extend or on a Saturday, it does incur costs. I mean, there's more costs associated with that, especially if you run that overtime for class. So that's for consumption.
There was Saturdays and Sundays. I've been there on Saturdays for something with all problems. Instructional time. Need a motion to approve the school calendar as was presented for 13-14. Motion, need a second? I'll second. Motion, second. All in favor, indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Discussion and possible action of the Lawrence County non-resident contract.
I think, Mr. Chairman, this is the one remaining contract that we have. And if you recall, we spoke of this and discussed it at the last board meeting. Lawrence County, right now, we have about 35 students from Lawrence County, maybe they get 6 or 7. They're trying to stop the bleeding of their SEEK facilities that they have. So they have instituted a 1-for-1, meaning if a student wants to transfer into Martin County, then the SEEK money would not follow unless there is a 1-for-1 exchange, which it would be a wash. There's no intention on Mike Armstrong or the board up there at this point of saying, okay, those 35 students have to come back. That's always a mess, and anywhere it's been tried, there's been court cases, I think, down in Corbin and Knox County that have had an ongoing court case about doing just that. It just doesn't make for good neighbors either. So this is a 1-for-1 contract. I recommend that the board approve it.
Any further discussion on that? Not any motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
Any motion, need a second? Motion second, all in favor, indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is new business. New business.
We were outside. We have back with us tonight Michaela Jude. She came last board meeting with some technology challenges. So she's here this evening to inspire the board. Where is she? There she is. Come on up.
hours of work each time. I'm sure y'all tired of seeing it.
Hers does not, hers will not carry that. So, just sit there. So what? Valid. So we're going to, we'll work on the system. Slideshow.
Do you have that, Mark?
Who's got a DVD burner on there? Yeah. Put one in there. What's yours? That's hers. Put this back in here. Bring a DVD up here. What's that this?
We thought we had it handled this time.
While I'm waiting, I'll just go ahead and give y'all, I had copies of the PowerPoint. That's all you want to say.